Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you all? I hope you are all fine and safe. Students, are you doing your work regularly? Very good. I know my students are very smart and they will not waste their time. Okay, so students, I am here with your first lesson of the third week, and today we are going to study new unit from your Oxford Discover student book. We are going to study Unit 6, and the name of your new unit is You Can Be a Poet. Do you know what is a poet? Yes, a person who writes poems. Okay, before we start our lesson today, let me tell you that by the end of today's lesson, you will be able to write poems and identify different types of poems. So that it means that in this unit we are going to learn that how can we write poems, and we are going to study about a few different types of poems. So are you ready? Very good. Okay, students, before we start reading, I want to ask you something. As you can see my question on the screen, this is a small activity for you actually. You are going to tell me that why do people write poems? You remember we studied about people writing poems in Unit 5? You remember? Very good. So now just take a few seconds and think of the answer. Done? Alright, so now let's see how many of you are correct and how many of you are wrong. Don't worry if you are wrong, okay? Okay, students, people write poems to share what they feel and see and to share the beauty and joy of life. Okay, so now you remember how many of you were correct? All of you. Very good. You are so intelligent people. Okay, as we already studied that people write poems to share their feelings and whatever they see with other people, okay? And they also write about the beauty of life, about joy of life. So this is why people write poems. All right, so are you ready for reading? Ready? Very good. So let's read together. You can be a poet. Poets write about the world in a special way. They want to share the beauty and joy of life. You can be a poet too. Just remember these 3 points. Okay, so now here they are telling us that why do people write poems? Uh, because they want to share the beauty and joy of life, as we have already discussed earlier. And now they are telling us 3 points in which we can write a poem. Okay, so now let's read the points. Number 1, a good poet observes things carefully. When you were going to school this morning, what did you notice? Many poets write about the things they see around them. Okay, so the first thing is that we are supposed, if we want to write a poem, we should look at the things around us very carefully. Whenever we are going outside, or whenever we are doing anything, whenever we are at home, whatever we are doing and wherever we are going, we need to observe, to look at the things very carefully. Number 2, a good poet has a good imagination. When you imagine, you create something in your mind. Then, when you write about it, others can enjoy your imagination too. Alright, secondly, they are telling us that to be a good poet, you need to be creative. You need to think in different ways. You need to be imaginative, because when you imagine, when you think, when you're creative, only then you can build up something interesting. Number 3, a good poet knows how to describe things. How does something look, smell, or feel? Does it make a sound? Writing about these things can make a poem interesting. Okay, in the third point, they are telling us that to be a good poet, or a good poet knows that how is he going to describe different things. He knows how is he going to tell about the looks of something, or about its smell, or about its uh, taste, or maybe feeling, or whatever he wants to write, he can describe it very well. So you should be using different words, you should be using different expressions. So these are the important points which you should know if you want to write a poem. Okay, now let's read further. There are many different kinds of poems. Here are three examples that you can try right away. They are fun to write and fun to read. Try them and you can become a poet too. Now we are going to read about three kinds of poems, and let's see what they have to tell us. Okay, I am on page number 58 again. The first type of poem is acrostic. An acrostic poem uses the letters of the topic word to describe the topic. How to write an acrostic poem? Find one topic word that is interesting to you. Write the word vertically. Vertically means up to down. Use each letter as the beginning of a new word. The new word should tell us something about the topic. They don't have to be rhyming. Here is an example of an acrostic poem using the word Hawaii. Okay, so students, they are telling us that the first kind of poem is acrostic poem. And how are we going to write this poem? What happens is, when you're writing this poem, we choose the topic of the topic. For example, here they have chosen Hawaii as the topic, and what do we do is we write the topics letters from up, starting from up and ending down, from up to down vertically. As you can see on your books, they have written H in one line, then under H they have written A, then W, then A, then double I. Third thing we are going to do is we are going to use each letter as a beginning of a new word. Now the third step is that we are going to write a new word with the beginning letter, with each beginning letter. For example, they have written hot with H, aloha with A, waves with W, and so on. Then it is important that every word that we are writing should be related to the topic they have written. Okay, and it is not important that they have to be necessary. Okay, it is not necessary, sorry, that they have to be rhyming. Okay, so this is all about acrostic poem. Okay, students. All right, so now I am on page number 59, and we are going to study about Cinquain. This is another kind of a poem. A Cinquain poem has 5 lines. Alright, so now they are telling us that Cinquain poems have only 5 lines. How many lines? 5. Now let's see how are we going to write a Cinquain poem. In line number 1, one noun for the topic. Okay. So in first line we are going to write one noun for the topic. Then line 2, two adjectives that describe the topic word. Alright, so now in the second line we are going to write two adjectives which will describe our topic words. You know what are adjectives? Yes, the describing words, the words that describe nouns. Line number 3, three action words that end in ing. So in line number 3 we are going to write three action words or three verbs which are again related to our topic written in the first line. Line number 4, a sentence about the topic word. Now in line number 4 we are going to write a full complete sentence about the topic that we have written in the first line. Line number 5, one new noun that is similar to the given topic. Alright, so here we are going to write another noun in the last line, in line 5, which is similar or same as our topic word. Alright, so now as you can see the example on the right side of the page, in the first line they have written the topic word, which is snow. In the second line they have written two describing words or adjectives. Okay, in the third line they are describing, they have written action words, falling, dancing and glittering, which is describing their topic word. Line number 4 is a full-fledged or a complete sentence. Tiny snowflakes kiss my nose. Snowflakes are particles of snow, alright, or and they are describing our topic. And again in line number 5 they are writing another word which is same as the topic, and the word is crystals. So it means that a Sinken poem has only 5 lines, and the 5 lines, in the first line there is only one topic word, then in the second line we write adjectives, in the third line we write verbs, in the fourth line we write a sentence, and in the fifth line we write the noun word which is similar to our topic. And all these things, the adjectives, verbs and sentence and the other words, are related to our topic. Okay, so this was all about a Sinkin poem. Now the third type of poem that we have here is haiku. Haiku comes from Japan. Haiku use an exact number of syllables in each line. Haiku poems are often about nature and one of the four seasons. Okay, so basically the origin of haiku poems is Japan, and these are the poems which use an exact number of syllables. Syllables means the sounds, or the as we already studied, the sounds of the words. And haiku poems are written about nature or four seasons. Okay, oftenly they are written about these two topics, nature or one of the four seasons. Nature means the things around us which are like, for example, let's say trees or birds, things like this. And four seasons are obviously the four seasons of in a year. Okay, so now let's learn how to write a haiku poem. In line number 1, use 5 syllables. Okay, so in the first line, if we are writing haiku poem, we are going to write words which have 5 syllables or 5 parts. For example, summer, it has 2 syllables. Sings, it has 1 syllable. Hello, it has 2 syllables. So total number of syllables in first line are 5. Line 2, use 7 syllables. Now in the first line we used words with 5 syllables, and line number 2 we are using words with 7 syllables. Let's see how. A, first sound. Robin, 2, 3 sounds. Hops, 4. Through, 5. The, 6. And grass, 7. So total number of syllables here are 7. Line number 3, use 5 syllables. Again in line number 3 we are using the 5 syllables. Looking, 2 syllables. For, third one. A, fourth one. Warm, fifth one. So basically in haiku poems the lines are divided according to the syllables, and there is an exact number of syllables. Exact number means, like, as you can see, in the first line they have used 5 syllables, in the second line they have used 7 syllables, in the third line again they have used 5 syllables. So exact number of syllable means using a complete number of syllables. Okay, 5, 6, or maybe let's say 7. Okay, alright, so this was all about the 3 kinds of poem that we are supposed to study. Remember to choose a topic that interests you and carefully choose your words. Have fun sharing your poems. Alright, so last thing they are telling us, that is very important for us to choose a topic that is interesting for us. Okay, so this was all about the poems and how can we write poems. I hope you have understood the lesson. Now what you will do is, before doing anything else, before attempting your assignments, you are going to read this unit at least 2 times by yourselves. Okay students? Alright, so now students, I am on page number 60. We are going to discuss this and then you are going to do it on your student books. We will discuss with part A. Write the number for each sentence in the correct circles. Now they have given you 6 sentences here, and they have given you 3 circles with each one has one kind of name of one kind of poem in it. As you can see, one is for acrostic poem, then we have Sinken poem, and the third one is for haiku poem, and they have given 2 small circles along with every big circle. What you are going to do is you are going to write the correct number of the sentences in the circles, keeping in mind that which sentence describe Which poem? Number 1. This poem is often about nature and the seasons. Now, can you tell me which poem is about nature and the season? Acrostic, Sinken, or haiku? Yes, you are right. Acrostic poem. Are you sure? No, see, I was trying to check you. You are very smart. I love you all. Haiku poems are written about nature and seasons. So you are going to write number 1 in one of the circles given for haiku poem. Write number 1 in one of the circles given for haiku poems. Very good. Now let's see sentence number 2. If the topic word is long, the poem will be long. If you are writing a topic word which has more number of letters, you are going to write a longer poem. Yes, this sentence is about acrostic poem. Write number 2 in one of the circles given for acrostic poem. Okay. Number 3. The second line of this poem has 7 syllables. Yes. This is about haiku poem again. So you are going to write number 3 in the other circle given for haiku poem. And it means that sentence number 1 and 3 are related to haiku poems. Alright, number 4. The fourth line of this poem is a sentence. Yes, it's about Sinken poem. So you are going to write number 4 in the one of the circles given for Sinken poem. Done? Very good. Number 5. You can read the topic vertically. What is the meaning of vertically? Yes, reading from up to bottom. Yes, this is again about acrostic poem. Very good. So you are going to write number 5 in the second circle given for acrostic poem. So it means that sentence 2 and 5 are about acrostic poem. Sentence number 6. The first and last words of the poems are nouns. But of course, it is about Sinken poem. Alright, so now let me quickly revise. In sentence number 2 and 5 are for acrostic poem. You are going to write 2 in one circle and 5 in other circle for acrostic poem. Done? Very good. Then sentence number 4 and 6 are for Sinken poem. And sentence number 1 and 3 are for haiku poem. Very good. Okay, so now let's discuss exercise B. What is the main idea of you can be a poet? What is the main idea means what is the main theme of this unit? Now, we are going to put a tick in the box. Acrostic poems are fun and easy to write. Haiku poems are usually about nature, or anyone can write poems if they know how to do it. Just quickly tell me the answer. Yes. Sentence number 3, you are going to put a tick in the box given in front of sentence number 3. Anyone can write poems if they know how to do it. Very good. Done? Excellent. I love you all. Now let's discuss exercise C. Students, this exercise you are going to solve on your own. It is very, very easy. You are given 4 words in the box. You are going to write you are going to fill in the blanks using these four words. Exercise C says words in context. Write the correct word in each sentence. The words are exact. Exact means complete, or let's say what will you say? When I say exact, I mean the exact time or the exact place, Alright, then second word is describe, third word is observe, and the fourth word is imagine. Okay, sentence number 1. When you dash something, you look at it carefully. You are going to write when you do what? When you exact something or describe something or observe something or imagine something. You look at it carefully. What do we do? What are we doing when we are looking at something? Can you tell me? We are looking at something, we are noticing it, we are seeing it, what are we doing? Yes, we are basically observing it. So the answer for the first sentence is the word observe. When you observe something, you look at it carefully. Okay, now let's look at sentence number 2. When you dash something, you can see it in your mind. Now, what do you do when you are looking at something or when you are thinking about something in your mind? Which word are you going to write? Exact, describe, observe, or imagine? Can you tell me, students? Think. Which word means to think or uh, to see in your mind? Yes, you are right. Imagine. So, in the second blank, you are going to write imagine. When you imagine something, you can see it in your mind. Very good. Number 3, the dash time right now is 10:03 in the morning. Very good. Exact. The exact time right now is 10:03 in the morning. Number 4, when you dash something, you explain how it looks, sounds, or feels. What do we do when we are telling about something? When we are telling something, when we are telling about how something looks, or how something sounds, or how something feels? Yes, very good. We are describing it. So in the fourth blank, we are going to write the word describe. Let me just quickly revise. In the first blank, you are going to write uh, observe. The second blank, you are going to write imagine. In the third blank, you are going to write exact. And in the fourth sentence, you are going to write describe. So this is how you are going to solve the exercises given on page number 60. Everything is very easy. Just read the unit and try to solve them. Alright students, so now here I have your dictation words. I am going to read them one time and you are going to read them after me. Okay? So let's start. Special, share, become, snowflakes, remember, imagination, observes, carefully, create, sentence, poem, interesting, vertically, beginning, rhyming, adjectives, similar, Japan, exact, syllables, nature, seasons, choose, imagine, islands, acrostic, sink in, haiku, topic, enjoy, world, morning. So these were your dictation words. Students, when you are going to write the word Japan, make sure you are writing it with capital J. Why? Because this is the name of a country and it's a proper noun. Okay? Now here I have your dictation paragraph. Again, I am going to read it for you one time. A good poet knows how to describe things. How does something looks, smell, or feel? Does it make a sound? Writing about these things can make a poem interesting. There are many different kinds of poem. Students, this was the dictation paragraph. Now always remember, as this little turtle is saying here, that write in a beautiful writing. You are going to write in very beautiful writing, okay? So let's discuss your assignments for today. Students, your assignments for today are that you are going to read page number 58 and 59, which is your text. You are going to do page number 60 on student book. We have already discussed it. We have already discussed each and every point. Make sure you do it very carefully. And lastly, you are going to write dictation words and paragraph and write them neatly in your notebooks. Okay, this is what you are going to do in your notebooks. You are going to first learn the dictation words and paragraph and then write them neatly in notebooks. So these are the all three assignments for today: reading, solving exercise on page number 60, and learning dictation words and paragraph and writing them in your notebooks. Okay, students, so now here again I want to remind you about the rules for notebook maintenance. Firstly, you're going to write date and day. Students, I've been checking your homeworks and many of you are not mentioning the date and day on the top of the page. Make sure you begin your work by writing date and day, okay? It is very important. Secondly, write the unit number and name on the first line and underline it with blue color. On the first line of the page, you are going to write unit 6, write the name, you can be a poet, and underline it with blue color using your scales. On the second line, give the heading of the task and underline it with blue color. On the second line, you are going to give the heading of the task. For example, if you are writing dictation words, you will write the dictation words and underline it with blue color. Again, I would like to mention that many of you are not writing the name of the task given. You just directly start doing your work, which is wrong. Okay, write date and day, write unit number and name, and write the name of the task also. You're going to leave line after the headings. Draw ending lines with blue color after finishing every task. Okay, this is very important. Don't forget to draw ending lines. Your notebook should be covered and kept in a good condition throughout the term. I don't want to see any notebooks in bad conditions. They should not be torn. They should not be uncovered. You should not spill anything over them. And do not scribble in your notebooks. Last but not the least, write in beautiful and neat handwriting. This is very, very important. Okay, you're not doing your work. Many of you are not doing your work neatly. Make sure you do it neatly. All right, so let's have a quick recap of what we have studied today. In this unit, which is unit 6, you can be a poem. We learned how to write different types of poem. Yes, we learned how can we can write 3 different kinds of poem: acrostic, Sinken, and haiku. Okay, so students, this was all about unit 6. You can be a poet. The unit is really very easy. All you need is to read it carefully and understand it. As we have already discussed it one time, if you will read it 2 times, you will understand each and everything in a better way. So make sure you do it. Until I see you next time, Allah Hafiz.